Hey guys, it's Sean. We are back. Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 15, episode 1. Y'all, this is like, I swear this is like my third time filming this video. So I'm filming it, I'm like 10 minutes in, my phone shuts off. So I'm out here, I'm outside. It's a nice, beautiful day out, but my phone shuts off talking about overheating. I was literally like about to wrap it up and start talking about Ross's 40th birthday party, Courtney versus Kandi, and the phone. Like, these YouTube, they don't want me to be great in these YouTube streets, y'all. Like, I don't know. But it's Sean. I'm glad the season started. This episode wasn't bad. Okay, so we start off with Sheree and Martell. Y'all, I think I have said we started off with Sheree and Martell like 5 times already. When I tell you I have filmed this video like 3 or 4 times. Anyway. I can't believe I'm filming this video again. Sheree and Martell, we start off with them. Real House of Atlanta, season 15, episode 1. Martell comes to Sheree's house, and Martell is already in Atlanta. He was filming he had like a photo shoot or something going on. They let it be known that Martell is already on a reality show. I guess Carlos King and Bravo probably figured it's good cross promotion. So they figured, yeah, like let him come on the show, whatever. But Sheree says ever since Martell and her have started dating, he has seen her every weekend. How has this man seen you every weekend? He has like 3 kids. Doesn't he have like 2 or 3 kids that are like elementary school age or like young? I don't watch Love and Marriage, Atlanta or Huntsville, whatever it's called. But I know that he has like young kids that are like not even teenagers yet. So how are you, whatever. And he supposedly shares custody with his ex-wife, Mel, or whatever. So how are you seeing this man every weekend? And Sheree, you're in your 50s. Like, are you really trying to like be stepmom to like other, like, no. I just feel like Sheree and Martell's relationship is like, the chemistry is based around sex. Even, so Martell comes to the house. Sheree has a personal private chef cook them salmon and mashed potatoes. I'm like, Sheree, you couldn't have made that? Salmon and mashed potatoes. Black people love some salmon. Like, we got to start eating some other fish, y'all, too. But the private chef makes them some salmon and mashed potatoes. It looked pretty good. And Martell's already going on and on about, oh, I thought you was ready to have a threesome. I seen another girl coming in, and I thought, like, really, Martell? Like, ew. And Martell, like, yeah, he's muscular and whatever. He's a handsome guy, but also he gives me, like, bitch energy, too. Like, always ready to argue with a female. He got a little sass to him, too. And he, like, his mannerisms. Correct. Tell me in the comments, does Martell have, like, feminine mannerisms? Like, I'm a gay man, so whatever. But, like, does Martell have feminine mannerisms? Like, he's just very, like, and just, like, in the kitchen, the way he talks, like, some of his words is kind of, like, I don't know. Like I said, he's just always ready to argue with a female. Like, from the clips I see, he's always arguing with women. I think he's going to be going back and forth with Kenya this season. I don't know. So Martell and Sheree are just talking. Sheree tells Martell that, you know, Kandi had a lot to say about him. She doesn't like that and also Sheree's holding a grudge with Kandi this season because Kandi was doing like spoofs and little IG TikToks and things like that, like just mimicking and reenacting certain clips from the reunion and certain clips from last season, season 14, and Sheree's kind of like dragging this grudge, which I don't really like because I feel like Sheree and Kandi had a really good relationship for the most part. Besides that, like, thing that happened years ago with Kim and the African baby, Africa. Sheree, Real Housewives of Atlanta fans, y'all know what I'm talking about. That little beef, that little spat that they had. It was Kandi, Sheree, and Kim when they all went to Africa, and it was something about the African babies and Kim and Sheree, blah, blah, blah. Sheree's always on the wrong team anyway. But I feel like Sheree's is dragging it. She's aligning herself with Marlo and Sonya, like, wrong road, like in my Porsche voice, wrong road. Anyway, so Sheree is telling Martell that, you know, Kandi's had a lot to say, and Martell is like, why is Kandi talking about us? And oh no, you know what happened? Kandi did like an interview and she was like, I feel like the relationship's not real. I feel like, you know, Martell's is chasing after Sheree for clout and things like that, because remember the pictures had leaked of Sheree and Martell working out and it just looked really fake, and they were just like, it just so happened as soon as season 14 wrapped, now Sheree and Martell have these like faked, the pictures were fake. I don't care what you say. The pictures were fake of Sheree and Martell out and about at the park, like randomly somebody's just like 2 feet away from y'all taking y'all photos and catching y'all working out at the park. So that's all Kandi really touched on. So Martella's like, why do I need to chase after her for clout? She needs to worry about her husband, talking about Todd, saying Todd is after has been with Kandi for clout. And Sheree is just like, She was like, well, you're going to see them at Ross's 40th birthday party. Science planning Ross a 40th birthday party. So you're going to see them at Ross's birthday party. And, you know, hopefully things are respectful. And Martella's like, they better be respectful. They're both like 3 feet tall. What does that have to do with anything, Martell? Like, again, you're trying to, like, so what you saying they're supposed to, like, look up to you and respect you? I don't know. I think Martell is kind of like, his energy's kind of a little off to me too, but that's Sheree and Martell. We'll see. I feel like it's just another TV relationship, like, whatever. So then we move on to, you got Kenya, Kandi, and Monyetta. They're all at Kandi's like office or her studio where she like films and edits and does, you know, a lot of her meetings and stuff. They're just talking. So you got Monyetta and Kenya. Monyetta and Kenya are talking about how Monyetta hooked her up with a matchmaker. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Did the matchmaker that Monyetta got Kenya in connection with, did the matchmaker and Kenya hit it off? Like, instead of the matchmaker meeting Kenya and seeking a man or men for Kenya to date, did Kenya just end up hooking it up and hitting it off with the matchmaker? So now the matchmaker didn't even have to do his job of seeking men for Kenya to date. Did I like hear that wrong, or maybe I wasn't paying full attention? But I feel like Kenya started dating the matchmaker himself instead of, you know, men that he found for her. But I don't think Kenya's dating a guy anymore, but that's what they were talking about. Monyetta hooked Kenya up with a close friend of hers that's a matchmaker. Kandi touches on the fact that her and Todd are kind of at odds right now. Todd is trying to work on a script, and Kandi's just too busy to even, like, help her husband out. I love Kandi and Todd, that they're, you know, together and they don't really have much scandal. They're not cheating on each other, but I'm tired of the, like, play, movie, like business venture butting head storyline. I'm tired of that. I'm not saying that I want someone to be cheating on one another or whatever, but again, like, that storyline is just kind of like old and played out. And I also feel like Kandi knows that too, so I feel like she's also kind of feeding into a lot of the petty drama between her and Marlo and the new girl Courtney, because she knows, like, okay, we're filming the show, the cameras are on, like, y'all woke me up now, like, what's up? And I feel like Kandi's kind of playing a little bit more into the drama than she normally would, because she knows that the storyline with her and Todd is not going to fly, and her sitting in the background kind of being like, you know, just playing the background is not going to work. So I feel like a lot of the drama she usually would have let kind of slide, she's kind of feeding into a little bit, which, okay, it's going to make great TV, whatever. But I really don't care about Kandi and Todd's storylines for the most part. Like, I don't know. I'm tired of the businesswoman, entrepreneur. I love that for Kandi as a black woman. You know, it's very aspirational, motivational, like, all power to Kandi. Burr is doing her damn thing, but also can appreciate, like, I feel like I can also appreciate what Kandi has done with the platform. It has, like, elevated times 10, and I feel like that's why Bravo keeps her on too, because Kandi is that, like, affluent socialite that they try to seek. So the fact that Kandi is the longest standing housewife and she's able to accomplish, like, a lot of the things that when they're casting new women, like a lot of things that Kandi has achieved, or a lot of things that Kandi has going on, when they are casting new women and new cast members, they kind of want them to be kind of doing the same thing. So I feel like when it comes to needing a cast member to throw an extravagant event or whatever, Kandi can do that. So I feel like that's why they kind of keep Kandi around anyway. But also Kenya lets the Kandi and Monyetta know that Martell slid her DMs for whatever reason. When they checked Kenya's phone, the DM disappeared. I don't know if Martell unsent it or whatever, but that was kind of weird too, that the message wasn't there anymore. Not saying that Kenya's lying, but I just think it's kind of weird. Like, if he unsent it, wouldn't the entire just like message DM request just go away? But so yeah, and it's good to see, like, Monyetta's kind of, you know, in the fold a little bit. She's speaking up. They're trying to give Monyetta has a cast photo that she had a confessional first episode. So I think they're really trying to give Monyetta more of you know, more of like a friend of role, I should say. So then we move on to, I think, Sonya and her family. Sonya just living in a big house with the Brady Bunch, her family. There's like 9 people in this house. That's way too many people. So you got Sonya, Ross, and their son, Sonya's sister, her brother-in-law. They have 2 kids, and then Sonya's parents. So Sonya's basically saying that, you know, her family. So Sonya's storyline is she's butting heads with her family members. Her sister does a little bit for her. Maybe is her hairstylist and just helps out. Her brother-in-law is I don't want to say struggling, but he's trying. He still hasn't got his foot in the door as far as real estate. He's a real estate agent, but he hasn't been selling any houses. I don't even think he's found like an agency to work for. So Sonya's like, well, come and be my assistant. Working with family, you know, it can either go left or it can go right. And I also feel like when you work with your family, you're a little bit more lenient. Maybe as an employee, you're a little, you know, it's just more lenient, and things aren't always you're not as strict with your family members. So her family's telling her, like, you don't give us that like work-life balance. You're always like, you know, you hop around, you got so many things going on, and you're so kind of just so all over the place trying to find new business ventures that you don't give us a chance to like work for you and then have off. You just think that we're supposed to but at the same time, like, I kind of feel like Sonya's probably paying all the bills in the house for the most part. If Sonya's the breadwinner and you guys are working for her, y'all better be listening to what the hell I don't know. I feel like that, like I said, with family, it's hard working with your family, but Sonya's storyline is not that interesting to me either. But I think Sonya plays the reality TV game pretty good. I like that she did get a second season to kind of come back and redeem herself. And I feel like Sonya is that good like middleman type of person, like that Cynthia Bailey type of role, to where like she can resolve things easily, to where, you know, she's that good middle person that can kind of bring everybody together. She's not going to go overboard with the beast, but at the same time, you know, she still is also open to like resolution that will kind of help move the storyline and bring the group together. So I feel like Sonya's good for that, but I'm not really interested in Sonya's storyline, if I'm being totally honest. And also too, like, all those people living in your house, like, I want to walk around butt ass naked. I want to go downstairs and get some coffee in my underwear. Like, I'm pretty sure Sonya has like a master bedroom where it probably has like a you know, like an en-suite bathroom and everything like that. But it's just, that's still just too many grown adults living in one house. Sonya's house isn't even that big. She has a nice house, but it's also, I also feel like it's that like starter money, like that beginner money, to where like it's her first season, so they gotta have like a decent looking house, but it's not this like big house that a lot of them grew into. If you watch Atlanta Housewives, like the first season, Sonya's house is like the same house like Nene was living in when she first got on the show. Or like no, Sheree had a big house. Who else? Like even Kandi kind of grew into like a bigger house, which is okay, understandable. But I feel like also Sonya just doesn't have that like luxurious like lifestyle. Even Drew looks like her house is kind of like, no, actually Drew got another house which is bigger than the last one. But remember when like Kim Fields was on the show? Kim Fields is not balling with money. Like, she had like a little decent family style home. Same thing with Phaedra. Phaedra had like a decent family style home with her and Apollo. Like, they had money, but they weren't like season 4, season 5, season 6 balling yet. And I feel like that's kind of like how Sonya's house is, and to have 9 people in it, it's just not big enough. Sorry. You got Marlo and her nephews. They have a life coach now. The nephews are back home. They're working on soft parenting. They're working on communicating. You know, being in a black household, your parents are strict or your guardians are strict. So we don't have much room for communication. It's parents' way or no way. You do what I say, and that's that. So she's working on just a new style of parenting now. It's a new age, new day. And, you know, parents are learning that children have a voice too. And Marlo's just trying to work on that and not, you know, and try to stop those generational, like, those bad ways of, what do you call that, y'all? She's just trying to just be a better parent and be a better guardian than what she had growing up, than her mother and things like that. So, what is that called too? Somebody put in the comments, what is that called? Not I'm thinking of like generational wealth. What is that called when, you know, you're trying to stop bad things that happen generation after generation, whatever. You're trying to just turn over a new leaf as far as how you do things with your family, things like that. What is the right word? I can't figure it out right now. But her and her nephews, they have a life coach. They're working on communicating. So the life coach comes over, they're eating quesadillas and tacos, and they're just talking. And then you can tell like their relationship is better. Marlo said, you know, she never wanted her nephews to feel like she didn't want them, or, you know, that they didn't have a home with her, that she didn't love them. It's just that, you know, doing it on her own, she was frustrated, and she can see how it just looked bad. And, you know, as kids, they might not have understood. And, you know, so she said she's just working on it all around, which is good to see. And then we get to Sheree, Sonya, and then the new girl, Courtney, comes over to Sheree's house. Sonya gets to Sheree's house first, and they're working out. and Sheree is in her She by Sheree, her $300 two-piece, and supposedly the website's still failing, and I don't even know if people are even buying it. I know people tried to buy things at first, but I don't know. And Sheree made a comment too, like, how many of y'all have websites that crash? Like, basically trying to say, I got so much traffic that the website crashed. But at the end of the day, like, She by Sheree has been in the works for so long. You should have had, like, that to where it didn't even happen. Like, you should have people running the website. You should have, a system in place where everything ran smoothly. And that's the point. Like, nothing you do business-wise runs smoothly, Sheree. But she's still, Sheree's going to stutter and twist it into a way to make it seem like it's not that big of a deal. So anyway, Sonya, Sheree, and Courtney are all at Sheree's house. Sheree and Sonya were working out for a little bit. Then Courtney comes. Courtney drops the bomb or spills the tea that Courtney and Kandi, they both have a mutual friend. Supposedly Courtney's name came up, and Kandi started acting like, even it just didn't even make sense. Courtney was saying that Kandi was telling people that Courtney was running around saying, oh, I know Kandi. And Courtney's basically trying to say, like, that's not how it happened, blah, 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 blah. Or it could have been the other way around. Somebody asked Kandi if they know Courtney, and Courtney said, y'all, it was so dumb. Like, it was just so stupid. And I think Courtney's argument is going to prevent them from even establishing a friendship. That was the, like, premise of the argument, like the baseline of the argument, that something got mixed up to where Courtney is now feeling offended because she feels like Kandi is telling people, like, I don't know Courtney like that, so I don't know why she's saying she knows me. And Courtney is trying to say, I never said I knew Kandi like that. Right, y'all? See, it just sounds dumb. So that's basically what they're talking about. So then Sheree kind of drops, like I mentioned earlier, Sheree kind of tells the girls, Sonya and Courtney, like, well, I'm a little ticked off with Kandi too. Like, I just don't like the things she's been saying about my relationship and da-da-da-da. So Sonya's like, well, you'll see her at Ross's 40th birthday party. Hopefully things are, run smoothly and it's fine. It's cool. I just feel like also too, like, Sheree just brings the wrong people on the show. Like Sheree, it's just like Courtney, like, I like that Courtney also too, like, the way Courtney is, I like her spirit, I like her vibe, I like her energy, but I just feel like also too, just like she's just bringing the wrong, like, who cares about this storyline? Like, we're going to bring you on the show because you got a little tiff with Kandi. Like, okay. Anyway, so let's get to Ross's 40th birthday party. So we're all there. The ladies are there. Everyone arrives. It's like a 40th Great Gatsby type of theme party, which is kind of played out. We already seen that already. The flapper dresses, the feathers, the shiny dresses, the boas, and the big. We already saw that already. Like, the men in tux. Like, that theme is played out. But Sonya finally throws her first lavish event. She said she spent $100,000. It was only supposed to be $40,000, and it ended up being $100,000. Drew is not in this first episode, but Ross is what's his name? Ralph is there, and they're like, "Where's Drew? Where's Drew?" And he's like, "Oh, family emergency, family crisis, something going on with her dad." And they're like, "Okay, so there's something going on with the family, but why are you here partying?" So Ralph has a little confessional. He's like, yeah, Drew got a family crisis, but I can't miss my boy's 40th. I got to come in and support my boy. And, like, the way the camera kind of, like, stayed on him after he, like, finished his statement, it was just like, it just left room for us to be like, Ralph, shut up. Ralph, shut up. Like, you just sound stupid. Like, there's probably more to the story. That's not adding up. And if there was this real big crisis to where Drew couldn't come here, why are you coming here to party? Ralph and Ross are not that close to where you had to make his 40th birthday party. But Sonya even mentioned that too, like, rewind, when Sonya, Sheree, and Courtney were all at Sheree's house. Sonya's is mentioning the party. She's like, I invited Drew. Courtney, are you going to come? And da-da-da-da. Sheree, you're going to be there. Sheree's like, yeah, I'm going to bring Martell. And then Sonya's like, I invited Drew. Drew didn't RSVP, but Ralph did, which is kind of weird. And Drew did, like, still mentioning, like, there's some type of thing going on with her and Drew. We're like, we don't care, Sonya, move on. So let's go back to the party. So Kenya gets there. Monyetta comes with her husband. Kandi and Todd arrive. I didn't really care for Kandi's, like, hair. But I think it could have just been like the hair, or there was like too much is going on in the front. Like she had like jewelry in the around going across her braid. She had this like choker necklace on. It was just doing too much. I feel like Kandi just kind of just threw on anything sparkly, and it just was a lot going on. I didn't care for Kandi's like look. Sheree looked nice. She had like a white dress on. Martell came with her. Manetta was there. Marlo looked good as usual. Like Marlo did it good. She had like a sparkly dress on, a short cut with like some like diamond headpiece that kind of like draped over her hair. If I'm missing somebody, whatever. Oh, Sonya and Ralph came in. Ross, they were there. So anyway, what happened? Okay, so the only good thing that happened at Ross and at Ross's birthday party was Kenya, Manetta, and Sheree. They dip off, and that's Manetta and Kenya's opportunity to kind of like expose Martell to Sheree. So Manetta's like, how are you and Martell? Are you guys good? Because I heard that he's been messing with another woman out here in Atlanta, and da-da-da. And Sheree's like, well, where's the woman at? Where's the woman at? Because he's been with me for the last 3 days. And Manetta's like, oh, okay, all right, fine, and okay. And then Kenya's like, well, I gotta tell you, he was in my DMs. So Sheree like, well, let me see the DMs. Show me the DMs. Where's the DMs? And Kenya didn't pull her phone out because I guess, the messages are deleted. But Sheree says in her confessional, Manetta didn't have nothing to say but 5 words last year. Now she got so much to say about my relationship with Martell. Girl, please. And that was kind of funny because it was kind of like Manetta didn't really have much of a voice last season, and I feel like they're bringing her back this season to give her a second chance. And like I said in my other videos, they see what we say online. They read tweets. They search their name. They get Google alerts about them. They read the blogs. And I'm pretty sure Manetta saw that everybody was probably saying she's a little boring. She didn't have much of a place on the show. She, like she didn't really say much or do much. She could, we can take or leave her. Like it didn't really matter if she returned or not. And I think Manetta's trying to come back a little bit stronger this season and have a voice and kind of be a little bit in the drama a little bit. So, Manetta basically told Sheree like Martell has been messing with another woman around Atlanta. That's the tea. That's the scoop I've been hearing on Martell. And Sheree's like, girl, please, you barely had anything to say last year. Now you got so much to say about my man. And Sheree was like, Kenya, you've been like sitting on ready to say something about Martell. Like, show me the DMs or let it go. So then you see Sheree calling Martell over, like, come over here. And that kind of like that scene ends, and we're gonna see that next episode. Courtney and Kandi have like a confrontation at the party. So I guess Sonya kind of initiates that. But if you guys watch the episode, you can tell Kandi kind of is looking like what? Why you got me over here with Sonya and this girl? Like if you got to look at it really quickly, like production or the editors didn't take that part out, but you can tell like that like the three of them talking was so like, and Candy's like, what's up? Like, okay, like what else you like, why? And you can tell production probably was like, okay, y'all sit here and have a conversation. Like, do you guys know each other? Can you go over there and talk with them? Like, that's what it looks like. Watch the episode back and look at Candy's expression like really quickly after like she says hi to Courtney and Sonya. But Sonya kind of like initiates the conversation. Courtney's basically going on and on, talking in circles about how she's not a clout chaser. Their mutual, Courtney and Candy's mutual friend Dina. Like I said, it just didn't even make any sense. And Candy's getting agitated because Courtney's just not letting the situation go. Courtney's basically saying like, oh yeah, Kandi, I heard you were going around asking people about me and saying that I told people I knew you when I don't know you. We only have a mutual friend. I don't need you for clout. I do my own thing and I have my own friends. And Candy's like, I never said that. Kandi said I knew of you, because we have a mutual friend, but like I never knew you. Like somebody could have brought your name up down the line and a couple later on, I probably wouldn't even remember who you are because we never even like kicked it like that. We never hung out. I think Kandi said they met each other in passing like one time and they have a mutual friend named Dina. Other than that, she doesn't know the girl. So and Courtney's like, exactly, I don't know you either, so I don't know why we need to clout chase off of you, blah, blah, blah. It was just like so stupid, so dumb. And Kandi was trying to nip it in the bud, and all Courtney kept doing was like trying to get the last word in, and she's like doing this to Kandi, and Candy's like, back up. Like, first of all, back up. And Courtney's like, you back up. And Candy's like, No, I'm telling you right now, like, back up before I headbutt you. Like, I'm about to headbutt this bitch. And, like, it kind of goes off, and I guess it's going to continue after that. But you can tell Kandi is just getting, like, agitated. Like, why are you so hype about a situation that just doesn't even matter? Like, I'm not pressed on you. You're saying you're not pressed on me. And I feel like what Courtney's dragging this out, and she's preventing a friendship from even happening because she's coming in on, like, she's already on ready right now with Kandi, and Candy's like, where's all this coming from? First of all, like, no one's worried about you. I never even spoke much of you, but yet you got so much beef. It's like a one-sided beef, and Candy's trying to figure out, like, what's the energy? And Kandi was like, okay, well, now that we established that no one was running around town talking about you, I said I don't know you. I think I might ask, your name came up briefly, and that was it. What's the energy? Like, what's up? Like, what's the problem, Courtney? And Courtney just kept, like, talking in circles. I'm just saying I don't know you, and I don't need to act like I'm friends with you for a clout. And Candy's like, I never said that. What are you talking about? Like, back up, get out my face. And she was like, I'm about to headbutt this bitch because she's getting hype, like, you know, doing what these, like, I don't need to clout chase you, Kandi. And Candy's like, okay, well, back up first of all. And, you know, it just went all the way left. And you got Marlo sitting there like in the background, Marlo's like, I'm just happy I'm not in the boxing ring with Kandi. Is this what Kandi looks like when she's mad and angry and fighting with me? Because I don't want no parts of it. It's like, I'm just glad I'm not a part of the drama and the beef. So that was the first episode. So it goes off with the continuation of Martell and Kenya. They're going to be arguing. And also, it's also going to just be the continuation of Kandi and Courtney arguing. But do you guys see Janelle or whoever the other cast member was supposed to be? There was a new girl that didn't make the cut. They didn't even show her face. They barely even showed her face. But again, if you keep up with the Atlanta and the Housewives tea and the drama behind the scenes and all that stuff during their off season, you would know that they had another girl, Camille or Janelle or something like that. No, her name was like Janelle or something like that. But she has a hair care line called like Camille Rose, or I could be wrong, y'all. But she has a hair care line, and she was supposed to be on the show. I guess she probably just didn't make the cut, but they did show her like filming, and she was supposed to be at the first. She was at the first taping, but they completely like edited her out. And now we got Courtney. So we first heard about the girl, the hair owner, entrepreneur, businesswoman. She owns the hair care line, Camille Rose. And then later on we heard about Courtney. But later on we kept seeing Courtney was filming more and more with the cast. So then, you know, you see Courtney has a cast photo and she's more of a friend of role, whatever. So I guess the other one just didn't make the cut. But you saw they posted Janelle or Janice or whatever her name is really quickly when Kandi and Courtney were arguing. You saw her like in the background really quickly. Kenya also brought a friend onto the show. I don't know how much they're gonna, you know, have her on the show or include her, but Kenya tried to introduce her friend Akila. We saw her like briefly, like the camera was on her a couple seconds, but I don't know how much she stuck. But I know she is a beautiful woman. She has her husband's a football player. They have 2 kids. I think one of their kids has I don't know if I don't want to be wrong, but I know one of the kids has like a disability or something like that. I think she's like a spokesperson or like an advocate for, you know, something that pertains to her child and things like that. So I think Kenya tried to introduce somebody else into the fold. I don't know how much she stuck or, you know, much of an impact she made, because we didn't really hear much or see much of her outside of like the blogs picking up that Kenya brought somebody else around. And like I said, if you keep up with a lot of it, you'll know like, oh, that's the girl King. That's one of Kenya's friends. So that might have been somebody Kenya was trying to bring on. I don't know if she's stuck around that much or we'll see much of her. But yeah, she had a new friend on the show, like Akila, I think her name was, and you saw her introduce herself briefly to like one of the other girls at Ross's birthday party, like really quickly. But that was episode 1. I'm not mad at it, y'all. I'm not mad at it. The trailer was a lot better than last season. We didn't get Drew. A lot of people on Twitter are like, oh, we didn't miss Drew anyway. We didn't care. But it just seemed kind of sketchy and fishy how Ralph came, said there was a big family emergency, but you're here partying while Drew was what, home doing what? I don't know, y'all. Season 15, episode 1. It wasn't bad. Drop down in the comments. Let me know what you guys think about it. And I will see you for the next episode. Have a good one, guys. This season, hopefully this season isn't too bad. Hopefully they bring a little bit more drama. Hopefully it's not forced, it's not stale. Hopefully it just doesn't you know, like I said, not forced, not stale. I give every season a new clean slate, because I mean, it's Atlanta Housewives. We are all invested at this point. Like it or love it, we are invested. Whether Portia, Nene, whoever is there now, we're all invested. So we still watching, like, you know what I'm trying to say, with one eye open. We still peeking through the blinds to see what's going on. So I feel like we always, at least for the most part, give it a chance. And if we just don't like it, not feeling it anymore, we just don't care. Last season, season 14, I didn't even watch like the reunion. I watched like the first part, and it just wasn't much going on to where I didn't even watch. I think it was like 3 or 4 parts. I didn't even watch it. Same thing with Potomac. I just stopped watching the last couple episodes and didn't even watch like part 2 or part 3 of the reunion, because it was like I see all the clips and everything that I need to see online. But it was a pretty good episode, y'all. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you later for the next video.